sorry.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
No.
Do we burn Bibles? Do we burn Qur'ans?
Yay!
Or let's change it a little bit. Do Muslims burn Qur'ans?
No, we don't.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure no Muslim has burned the
Unless
Qur'an?
they're terrorists.
Can I prove you wrong?
Yes, prove me
Let me
wrong.
see my back. I'm going to prove this woman wrong.
Oh no!
Have Muslims ever burned the Quran?
Yes!
Now, is everybody convinced that Muslims have not? That's what you're saying.
You mean human beings?
Are all the other Muslims here convinced that Muslims have never burned the Quran? Never. Ever.
In my country,
From the time of
actually
Muhammad.
say to this.
How about, hold on to me. How about during the time of Muhammad? Or just after the time of Muhammad? They did? How do you know? Have you read Sahih Bukhari? I'm not going to give it to you because I know what you will do. Every week we give it to them, they tear it up and they run away. I don't care what you say you're going to do. I'm going to hold on to it. You can read it.
We understand.
You can read it. Can you read Arabic? Do you know who Sahih Muslim is?
Yeah, we know who Sahih.
Do you know who Sahih Bukhari is? You don't know who Al-Bukhari is? You know who? Okay, tell the crowd, who is Sahih Bukhari?
It's one of the letters of the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam word.
The sayings,
Yeah.
the hadith.
Yeah, the
Are
hadith.
the hadith important to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Is Sahih Bukhari important to you?
Yeah.
Does Sahih Bukhari make any error? Does he make any mistakes?
Yes.
He does.
Yes. He is a human being, man.
Hold on a minute.
He is a human
So
being.
what he writes could be an error.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
So the hadith could be
So you're perfect. God
What does
did it.
Sahih mean?
Sahih means is still there is one book. It's all right, no wrong. It's
That's
the
right.
Qur'an.
Say it again. What does Sahih mean?
I don't know about the Sahih. I
What does
talk
Sahih-
to you about the book. Is it true or right? The Sahih was wrote by a human being. A human being
What
can
does
be
Sahih mean?
mistaken and
I don't
true.
want your opinion. I want to know what Sahih means.
You tell me what is
It
Sahih.
means correct. It means perfect. It means without any error, right? Sahih means without error.
If you know about the Sahih al-Bukhari,
Let me
there
ask
is a
you
hadith.
listen again.
There
Is
is a hadith
Sahih
in
in
Sahih.
error? No, he isn't. Is Bukhari in error? He's in error. So we can't trust Bukhari. We can throw away Bukhari.
Trust the Bible.
Are you a Shiite? Because Shiites don't like Bukhari. So I would expect you to say, no, we don't honor.
Actually, we honor.
As a Shiite, you can only trust Ali. I know.
No, that's not true. That's what's in your head. Excuse you. We trust
Excuse me. So now we can trust Bukhari. As a Shiite. Let's go on. What does Sahih Bukhari say about the Quran? Shall we read it?
Read it!
The atheist wants it to be read. In Sahih Bukhari, volume 6, Akhbar number 509. There's an awful lot here. I'll just summarize what it says. If you doubt me, come and read it yourself. Basically what he's saying is that when Muhammad died, the Quran had not been written. He died, it was only memorized, it was written on stones, it was written on bark, it was in the memory of the companions. That's correct, right?
That's correct.
So therefore, 2 years after he died, at the Battle of Yamama, many of those who had memorized it, they died. So they needed to write it down immediately. A man named Zayd ibn Thabit was given that responsibility. Who is Zayd ibn Thabit? Anybody you know?
Sahabi.
He's a Sahabi. But what more besides a Sahabi? Besides the companion, what else was he?
He was the writer of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So he was a secretary to Muhammad, right?
You can say so, yeah.
Okay, secretary to Muhammad. He was given the responsibility to write your Quran, right? And the time was 634. 2 years after Muhammad's death, right? That is the first recension. 634 AD. Here we go. 634 AD. Muhammad died in 632. 18 years later, in 650, 642. Say again?
The Quran was written
Yeah.
at Uthman bin Affan.
That's right.
when he
We're
was
getting
a
to that.
Khalifa.
We're getting to that.
You said life. I'm gonna get
Hold on a minute. That's what we're getting to now.
Wait 1 minute.
Before, we already have one Quran, which is the first recension, according to Sahih Bukhari. In 510, the next Akbar, we now come to the time of Uthman. 650 AD, 18 years later. Hudayfa was afraid that the people of Sham in Iran, that the differences in the recitation of the Quran, so he said to Uthman, O chief of the believers, save this nation before they differ about the Qur'an, as the Jews and the Christians did before. So Uthman sent a message to Hafsa saying, send us the manuscript of the Qur'an, so that we may compile the Quranic materials in perfect copies and return the manuscripts to you. Hafsa sent to Uthman. And Uthman then ordered Zayd ibn Thabit. Uthman then ordered Zayd ibn Thabit, Abdullah bin Az-Zubair, Zayd bin Al-As, and Abdurrahim bin Harith bin Hisham to rewrite the manuscripts in perfect copies. Uthman said to the three Qurayshi men, in case you disagree, you see there's a problem already. If they're copying a perfect Quran, how could they disagree? Right? You're just copying it. In case you disagree with Zayd ibn Thabit on any point in the Quran, then write it in the dialect of the Quraysh. Write it in the dialect of the Quraysh. We'll come back to that. As the Quran was revealed in the Qurayshi tongue. They did so. And when they had written many copies, Uthman returned the original manuscript to Hafsa. And then Uthman sent to every Muslim province one copy of what they had copied and ordered that all the other Quranic materials, whether written in fragmentary manuscripts or whole copies, be burnt.
Do you know what is true?
Now I ask the Muslims again, has your Quran been burnt before? We now know why. You want us to tell you why? You want me? Are you really want to know the rest?
Tell us next week. Tell us next week.
Is this too much for you? The atheist is going to have a heart attack. Too much information at once. He doesn't know. He loves this. Why? Because for the atheist, it proves his point. For the atheist, he doesn't believe in God.
I want that piece of paper.
Listen, folks, you can get this online. You don't have to get it from me.